This is the limestone lowdown. Hear the sound when you lie to the issues all around. From every corner, let's make it clear. The change we need is starting here.
Hi everybody, welcome to the latest edition of the Limestone Lowdown. This is Jared, Amanda, and we have a special guest, Mr. Mark Wilson, with us today. How are you doing today, sir?
Good, sir. How you doing?
Not too bad, not too bad. So, you are, as we refer to you, are a historian of Athens. So, kind of in that vein, if you would like to start with, your area of town, if you would like to tell us a little about that and how it used to be, like that kind of shocks me, but unfortunately, how it looks now versus how it used to. So let's start with that.
Hey, born and raised on the corner of Jefferson Street and Elm Street, which was a gravel road until I was 6 years old. And then they paved the road and made it Elm Street.
Was it 2-lane? Just
Two-lane, two-lane highway.
Wow, I can't.
Can you believe that?
I can't. I can't
Two-lane
imagine
highway.
that.
And being there on the corner, there was my grandparents, the Bobbies. In 1969, it's a special year I always remember that my uncle lived on part of the land by the railroad tracks, and as we was going to school one morning, we noticed all these police around his house, not knowing what was going on. And when we got to school, we found out that they had killed my uncle and killed the police officer at the same time in 1969. And therefore, we don't know what ever happened or what went down with the situation.
So, of course, I guess for a lot of people that are not on the younger side, of course, the 60s, that would have been a more, so we say, racially charged area.
Yeah.
And then from just us talking before, I believe you said that he was found in a closet, wrapped up in a blanket. So, like, how did the cop get shot? So just a lot of questions.
Wasn't clear.
Yeah.
A lot of cover up, especially because it being 1969.
Yeah, that was a funny thing when they told us that they found him wrapped in the closet in a blanket. We wondered, how did the cop get killed?
Exactly.
Yeah.
If they said my uncle had killed him, but
He was wrapped up.
He was wrapped up in the blanket. So
who knows?
They've taken it
Yeah.
personal. So this has been a personal thing on your family for a really long time.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
My family lived up through this area throughout. It was called Free Canada. It was a colony of black people on the north side of Elm Street, being on Jefferson side. Mm-hmm. And we all lived in shotgun houses at that time. So as we died out, or however, our land was being taken from one step to the next by our neighbors and city officials.
Okay, so when you say that, I'm guessing this is have to be after the Civil War, like when the slaves got their freedom. So it goes back to the 1860s. Is that?
Well, we're gonna say back in the 1900s.
Okay.
We lost a lot back in the 1900s. Everything on the east side of the railroad track we used to own, and we lost that land according to my people saying that one of our relatives got in trouble. They had to put the land up to get him out of jail, and when it was time to recover the land, they said that we didn't pay them back, so they took the land.
Okay, now we have heard stories
have
and
heard
stuff
stories
like that
of that.
before, so that is, unfortunately, that's not uncommon for trickery, hook and crook to steal people's stuff like that. Okay. So, and you were just telling us that used to be the downtown area of Athens.
Yes, that moving on along, when 1970 came along, 71, that was the downtown area of Northtown. They called it Northtown, they called it Free Canada, and they called it Booger Town.
Okay, you got to tell us about that one.
You got to explain Booger Town.
well, Booger Town, I don't know why they call it Booger Town, but they called it Booger Town because they was afraid to come across the north side of Elm Street. And we had all the factories up there, and we had L&S Shopping Center, Fred's grocery,
The strip mall.
Oh, the strip mall where I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
Yes,
strip mall with Fred's and
Okay.
other stores in that little strip mall. So that was downtown, and downtown was a little further south of us, but everything was there. All the people, we had more people than we could have in the community, but now if you come through our community, it's like a ghost town. It's just been wiped away. And
I know that since we have started this over the last 6 months or so, and I've told this story several times, that we don't typically go in Northtown. We do now that we're out there, but before we didn't. And there was one day that my son was going with us. We were taking stuff to that Haitian family, and my son was with us, and he was like, "Mom, where are we at?" Because that doesn't look, North Athens looks like none of the rest of Athens. And it's crazy because it's 2 blocks of
Off
our
the square.
historic downtown, you know what I mean? Our beloved square. And if you can throw a rock and it turns into a completely different area of town, and they put no time or effort into that area anymore.
yeah, I think that the city of Athens, back in 2013, they was really trying to wipe that community out because they weren't investing any money back into it. And I think that the people that worked for the city and on the city council, they knew all the plans that was going on from 2013 up until the day. They had reached out for a 20-year plan, and it was supposed to came along in 2020. And what happened was the mayor came to me and said that I spoiled their plan because they weren't able to get the land they was trying to get to do the upgrade of the intersection of the 7724 North Athens entrance, which is going to be this big old celebration. So,
Because just to let the listeners know that aren't from here, there's 2 Athens exits. So you have the first Athens
On
exit
65.
off
On
of
65,
65,
yeah,
and
Interstate
there's
65.
basically nothing. You know,
Yeah.
you get off and there's nothing there. Now there's a gas station, and that would be the entrance straight into this area. And the other Athens exit would be where everything's at. You have all the
72, where
72,
72 is at,
which is
yeah.
also a main drag. You have all your, like your chain restaurants and everything else like
The
that.
Walmart and all
so
that,
this
yeah.
plan, their supposed plan, was, I guess, part of that was seems to us. I mean, we don't know, to run the area down. That way they can buy it up and they can revitalize it how they want to.
With their money. and
So they
can
basically
profit
have
off
a
of it.
blank slate coming straight off the interstate. So it sounds like,
Yeah.
they knew what they were doing.
right, yeah.
Well, they don't like you because you've come in and you've put a kink in their plan.
Well, I sort of put a kink in their plan because really
Because they couldn't get rid of you.
they couldn't get rid of me, and I wasn't planning on going anywhere. And the thing is about this whole situation, about the 2020 plan, these lawsuits came up about in 2005 and 6. The city of Athens tried me in court about the sewer line they built on my uncle's land that they had just recently killed in 1969, and the police officer on the same land. They had no heart for their own officer.
So you're telling me they put a sewer line straight through where they got shot at?
Where they got shot at.
That is
So
crazy.
they took over, and that was your family land.
Yes, ma'am.
So I'm guessing you mean eminent domain.
No,
Obviously.
they never used
Oh,
eminent domain.
What?
They just took it.
They just took it. They took me to court, and they used the judge, and the judge used them. They all colluded together.
Wow.
And that's not the first time we've heard that. That seems to be the going story here.
Well, that's what they do in Athens. If you're a person of color and you're poor, they don't ask you questions. They do it, and then they tell you after the fact
What's going to happen?
what's going to happen.
I got you. Okay, so that was that the first lawsuit?
That
I
was
think
the-
you mentioned
the
three.
The first
three big
lawsuit
ones.
was in 2003.
Okay.
The second one came along in 2006. That's when this city attorney. This one, the city attorney James Carter.
Oh, this was before the one we've got now. Okay.
Oh yes, the first one was the city of Athens when they had Jerry Batts, their city attorney.
Okay.
He turned out to be a county judge 4 years after my court with the city, so he ended up being a judge. So that's when Mr. Carter came along and sued me for the same land. So we had a judge out of Huntsville come in and rule Mr. Carter
didn't have stand or couldn't.
Didn't have anything to stand on.
Lucky, I guess that's lucky for you that
It was
they brought
lucky for
in a
me.
Huntsville, so at
Yeah.
least they were impartial, as best as possible.
And after that lawsuit there, we came up with the 2010 lawsuit. Now we're getting closer to 2020. They're getting very desperate about this land. So the lawyer who just sued me, he got the property owners, Jack Cannon and the city of Athens and David Holden, to come back and sue me again for the same land. And all they was able to get was the land that they built the sewer line on. And
So how does that tie the? I guess I'm having a blind moment here. So how does that tie the Cannons? The Cannons just wanted it.
the Cannons own the land on the front side of the street, and I own the land behind the Cannons.
I see.
So
Okay,
they
okay.
own the front half, like toward on the road,
Actually,
the road frontage.
Actually, they own a strip of land on
Okay.
the road frontage, less than an acre of land with 3 houses on it.
Okay.
What you would say in a row.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh, so is it the 3 houses on Elm Street? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Would that be the ones across from the jail?
One across from the county
Okay.
jail.
Okay, I got you. Okay, so now I'm visualizing what we're talking about because I know we've talked about that land behind there that you talked about them taking that from you.
Yes, ma'am.
So they ran that sewer behind there.
They ran the
and
sewer line from the railroad track.
So they didn't take any land from the Cannons. They
No
just-
land from the Cannons.
Okay.
No land from the Cannons. And then they didn't pay me either. They didn't pay me for the land. But they ran the sewer line from the railroad track all the way up to the corner store.
Okay.
And when I moved in 1997, now I'm above age now. I was young in '69, but now I'm at
Let's see. We're at like 35, 40, something like that.
somewhere along in that 35 or
You're
40.
above 18 at that
Yeah,
point.
above 18. So I tried to inquire to hook up when I moved on this spot of land on the corner of Jefferson Street to open my business up. They would not allow me to hook to the sewer line that they built on our land from the get-go.
And what was the explanation for that?
It was going to cost too much money.
Oh, really?
And they gave me this printout on the paper how much it's going to cost, and I think it was like $60,000 or $70,000 just to go next door.
Come on now.
Wow.
And then Mr. Cannon, he decided, no, we're not going to cut my ground and let him hook to the sewage. So I ended up putting in a separate tank in 1997.
Okay.
Okay.
So you don't have a city sewer.
We don't have a sewer on the north side of Elm Street still.
So
it cut-
that's nobody. on
No,
that-
the store
Yeah.
the store has its sewage all the way down to the railroad track.
Okay.
And then when you cross
So-
the street,
So his houses
got sewer.
all got sewer on that little strip right there.
But if
So
you go any further,
nothing past you has sewer.
Nothing where I started.
And it's in the city limits.
It's in the-
Where's the city limits stop over on your side?
the city limit stopped probably about 3 miles up the road.
Wow.
And nobody. So for 3 miles, that's just as bad as Strain Road. That
Well,
they won't-
what they done was when they built CPI a mile up the highway on the right, they went down the railroad track and they put that sewer in for them down the railroad track. Now they did come back and tell me 2 years ago that they was going to backtrack and run the sewer back down to the corner, but it hadn't happened today.
Oh, that's another city council topic that we can ask about. Just puts a little pressure on them. They hate asking questions like that. Well, because when we went and looked at that house on Wheeler, we just assumed that it was going to have a septic tank because we're like, there is no way that this is on city sewer, and it is.
Yes, ma'am.
We were surprised that they had invested in that because they had. When we bought our house, when did they come in and when did they do that? Where they added city sewer for everybody?
Oh, I don't know.
Okay. Well, remember, we had to replace the line at our house.
Yes,
and it
we
was-
still had when we moved in 2020, we
iron.
still had the cast
Cast
iron
iron.
coming out of our, now we have a basement, so they replaced all the cast iron in the basement, but the guy, I guess he was a little on the cheap side, so he stopped and sent it to the from right outside the house to where it meets up with the city sewer was still cast iron. So lucky for us, that's one of the first things we had to do.
$3,700 the day before Thanksgiving. Our first year living here. So.
Right after we got married.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that was great. But yeah, so that's crazy. So you've got 3 miles of, and let's just go ahead and say it, that's what, traditionally black area, right?
It was traditionally black area.
That doesn't have sewer on that side of town. Yep. And then you add in the Strain Road, they're doing the same exact thing.
And that's a poor black
community. And I guess we just
too.
have to acknowledge and say that, I mean, how could it not be intentional? I mean, you know what I mean?
Well, it's intentional. I'm going to tell you why it's intentional. We have 3 problems in the city of Athens, and all 3 problems rely in black communities. 2 of the problems in District 3 being Strain Road, Highway 72, Levert Avenue, Browns Ferry Street, and Hines Street in 72.
Okay.
Those problems have brought on death and injuries for the last 4 years as we speak right now.
Well, let's just go ahead and talk about that for a
Yeah.
second, because the intersections have kind of become like your, let's just say like a passion project. Like you're really like, we need these intersections taken care of. There's things that
You've
can be
went to-
done
yeah.
to help the people. I mean, you've gone to Montgomery.
You've talked to
You know,
DC,
you've done all this
you've-
stuff. So if you want to tell a little about that,
Okay.
what you've tried to do to help the intersections.
I have tried to work with the mayor and my city councilman about upgrading the intersection on 72 in Browns Ferry and Levert and Hines. Also in my district, which is now Highway 99 and 127, my city council and the city council of District 3, which is Lucas, and Wayne Harper is my city councilman, they refused 3 times to go to the meetings about these intersections in the state of Alabama and Montgomery to talk to the head man of transportation.
So you're telling me that you got meetings with state officials about these intersections, and the city councilors from these areas didn't even want to attend?
Of course, right.
Wow.
That is crazy. Well, you know, that's
So
funny.
could they give you any kind of explanation?
Oh, they gave me explanation. Now, I sort of text them on it, and I let them text me back, and they had some poor reasons why they couldn't attend.
Of course.
But it's like if you can't attend, someone else needs to be on behalf of you. Another
Or at
council person.
or at least somebody representing the city, because
if I was a councilwoman and somebody from another district, because you're co-workers at the end of the day, if Jared couldn't go, hey, we've got a meeting with the state of Alabama about funding, about road improvements, whatever. I can't go because of whatever. Can you please go to Montgomery and listen for me? That might be grant money. They may be wanting to give us money, and they're just not going. That is crazy.
Well, I reached out to the mayor after I spoke to those gentlemen, and the mayor told me he was not going to Montgomery, that he going to deal with Curtis Vinson and the Northern District of Huntsville. He have no reason to go to Montgomery. So the reason why he wanted to deal with Curtis Vinson and Huntsville is because they all colluding together, especially on the intersection of Highway 127 and 99, because the last 26 years, they have turned a blind eye to that intersection. There's been numerous of wrecks and accidents on that corner and injuries. So my thing is, why do they not want to upgrade that intersection? It's something holding.
I was going to say, go ahead.
What's
What do you think?
My theory is they all making money on what they see there and not caring about the public, and they going down the highway, their safety. They don't care about the safety of the people. It's all about money.
And this
It's
also,
always about money.
Well, of course, but this also extends to like rescue vehicles and stuff too, right?
Oh, of
because
course.
they're very small intersections. It's not what you know, if you're picturing this in your head, it's not like a normal intersection where there's plenty of room everywhere. It's kind of like, it is an intersection, and
It's
it
a
does have a
compact-
it does have a turn lane, but it's very compact.
Yes.
Yeah.
So anything over a car, and even I guess some longer trucks would have a hard time.
Of course.
Because you said even like ambulances would even have a hard time making like
Fire-
that sharp
specifically
turn.
fire trucks.
Okay,
truck.
now I reached out to the fire department. I reached out to the sheriff department. I reached out to the school bus superintendent and the ambulance service. I got recommendations from the county commissioner, the sheriff department, the hospital, but I couldn't get a recommendation from the school bus system because they said they work for the city of Athens, they work for the mayor, and they couldn't give me a recommendation. And I just asked, was the students and the driver more important than their job? But she never made a
course
statement.
not.
Of course
And I guess
not.
we need to remind our audience that the school board is controlled by the city council. The superintendent is picked after the city councilors pick the school board. So it's all
it's not an elected position.
not elected. It's all
They're-
controlled by the city council.
They're not
so
independent. Everything is ran by your 5 city councilors,
and
essentially.
that goes back to what we said before. That's why it needs to be independent, where they can make their own decisions and not have to worry about what the mayor says, because Lord forbid he's not right about everything.
Right.
So
Correct.
yeah.
Correct. Yeah.
So I believe North Athens also has another nickname for who owns it. Would you like to tell us about that? What it used to be called?
Or still somewhat is.
Yeah.
Cannon country.
That's it.
They call it now Cannon and Cyber country.
Or they've called it Little Mexico, and now they've called it Little Haiti. I've heard.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about how that family and what they've been doing in your area.
Well, I tell you, they are controlling 90% of my neighborhood, the Cannons and the Cypress. They got their hands on every dollar made that goes through the community, because they own every building in the community.
Every
The
intersection.
stores,
Yeah.
the houses, the rundown buildings, the good buildings if you can find one. And they're controlling everything. That's why they don't want to change on the intersection, because you have to eliminate some of this stuff out of the community in order to put something new in.
So what you're saying is they might lose a little bit of land to improve everybody's life, and they're not even willing to do that.
They're not wanting to do that, and I think the plan that they have got come up with now, the city of Athens want land from myself and my church across the street from me, but they're not asking for land off of Elm Street to make the intersection even better. They just want to do one side of the intersection when you got 4 sides to an intersection, which doesn't make sense.
No, that doesn't make sense at all. Like, how does that help? They just want to steal something from you to make it better on that side, and then it's bigger and then it goes smaller. Like that don't make any sense at all.
So with the Cannons, like you had talked about that with your uncle, and how with the sewer, putting the sewer line in, and then you come to find out that they own 90% of North Athens, and they own tons of intersections all across the city. They own, the event center. They own where the land that the new Publix is going on. And then this kind of leads into how we ran into Mark and how we've become friends with him is we started seeing all of these dilapidated houses that we've talked about that the Haitians and the Hispanics live in that are being charged ridiculous amounts of rent. And the slumlord is a term that not only us but everyone else in the community has kind of nicknamed them, and the Cannons own these, and that's how we met Mark and the conditions of these houses. And Mark, you've been out taking pictures and reporting the conditions of these houses for years, well before we met you.
So I guess now transition us to the last 4 years and what you've been going around to these different houses and trying to help people. If you'll tell us a little about that.
Well, I'm going to go back 4 years. We're going to go back to 2020 to the mayor's election. I was talking to Ronnie Marks, and he was in the community. This one particular house that really struck him was the house where the garbage dump is at this moment, across the street from us, a little block house with painted windows. And he swore up and down that house would be eliminated when he was running for office. But when he went downtown and found out who owned that house, and it came out to be Chris Cyber, the house is still standing. Ronnie Marks never said anything else about the house. He won't come out in the community to view any of the houses because he don't think that the people who own them is doing anything wrong, and the houses is fine because people are living in them.
So let's just remind everybody that Chris Seibert is one of our city councilors, and he's been a city councilor for the past 12 years.
Yeah, almost 13 since 2012. Yeah, who didn't have business licenses within the city, and so it's almost as though they're all colluding together to protect themselves.
And that other family we mentioned.
Right, and the other family. And so Mark has spent the last several years trying to make a difference because this is his community. I mean, he takes this personal. He's went out, he's talked to his city councilor, he's talked at city council, he's went to the state of Alabama to make a difference, and things just have continued to kind of get shut down or nothing to be done. I mean, even so, Mark has went to Montgomery and figured out that the city was given tens of thousands of dollars, maybe even hundreds of thousands of dollars to do those road improvements for those road expansions.
Like, where's the money at?
And
what
the city
happened
didn't
to it?
spend it the way that they promised the state.
They have been getting low-income grants for a long time now, coming to find out, and they're spending all the low-income grants in the rich neighborhoods, which should be against the law, according to people I've been spoken to.
Wow.
That's crazy that this is going on that long and nobody's willing to stand up and do anything about it.
Well, even so, like if you were to get like the low income grants, and even if it was for North Athens, but it's like, hey, if we combine that, we can make a difference to do the sewage improvements over at Strain Road. I might be like, okay, let's table those intersection expansions, but let's go help these people on Strain Road. But they're not even doing that. We're more worried about getting a grant matched for a splash pad.
A splash pad, pickleball courts, all that.
And that's great. That is great if we're able to get that, to have those things in the community. It will be used. We are a large city. We need that for our kids, but it's a matching grant. So if the state gives us $1 million, the city's still got to pony up $1 million. Mm-hmm. But the city's not ponying up even $1 to North Athens or to Strain Road at all. But they'll give $1 million to pickleball and a splash pad and whatever else.
Yeah, they want to spend $15 million just on the park at
the Sunrise Park. Yeah, that's right, because they're collecting
on
bids.
Pryor Street, and
you're right, because they just talked about that at the council meeting. They're running those bids.
They've already got all the playground equipment and
because
all that
of COVID
stuff.
and the inflation and everything, it's went from $7 million to like $15 million.
And it would have been done already now if COVID hadn't hit.
Yeah.
Because they voted it back in a few years ago.
And I'm for it. I think that it's great. I think our community needs it. But when you see other areas that have a big need too, and that they're intentionally being neglected, or they're willing to go put towards stuff for this, but they won't go for anything. Funny thing, on a side note, I had emailed the mayor about him mentioning that meeting that they were supposed to have Tuesday. Mm-hmm. He said Mr. Lucas actually went to a meeting with ADEM for Strain Road, and that they have potential. He put potential in all caps, so I don't quote him on it. But I emailed Mr. Lucas and asked him what the status of that was and what he got. Of course, he hasn't responded to me. But
it sounds like Mr. Lucas.
Yeah. yeah. So, but anyways, we're getting close to our 30 minutes in here, so I'm sure y'all are finishing your drive or wherever y'all are going. But we just kind of wanted to do an introductory and how we met Mark, and what his impact is here in the city. So the next one, we will talk about some of the stuff that we've been working on with him over the last few months.
And our world-changing walk that changed the trajectory of everything. Yeah. So until next time, see you guys.
Bye.
And that's a wrap for this episode of the Limestone Lowdown, where we break down the issues, keep you informed, and give you facts straight from the source. Remember, your voice matters. Your vote counts, and your community thrives when we stay engaged. Stay tuned, stay informed, and stay involved. Until next time, keep questioning, keep advocating, and keep shaping the future of the Limestone area. We'll see you on the next Limestone Lowdown.